Ooh. What's up? What's going on, Alliance family? Oh, come on, y'all. We got to do better than that one. Come on, one more time. What's going on, Alliance family? There we go. I like that. How's everybody doing? Hey, can we just shout out real quick to the kitchen and all the caterers how awesome that food was? Was that amazing? I'm definitely fired up and charged up, ready to do some phone script training. So who in here, just by show of hands, it's kind of tough to see y'all. Who in here, we're talking about phone script. So who in here has never dialed the phone before, never even seen a lead, never, first time ever? Raise your hand real high like it's on a string. Real high. Awesome. Cool. All right. That's awesome. All right, so that is good news. Here is what's cool. We are going to help you, if you are brand new and just getting started, we're going to help you begin the process of learning the dials, right? Now, if you had your hand up, put it back up real quick. All right, now, let's say, for this question, let's say you've made dials, but you've never booked an appointment. Let me see by show of hands. You've made dials, never had a chance to book an appointment yet, or you talked to somebody and you haven't booked the appointment. We got a couple of those too. All right, cool. We're going to help you guys too. This is good stuff for taking notes. You can record this, listen to it over and over. How about you've booked appointments and you feel real comfortable with the phone script, but you're like, you know what, I could always get a little bit better at some of the objections I'm getting, things like that. Raise your hand real high. All right, cool. All right, and then raise your hand if you're just an expert and you're like, man, Brant, I could just go up there and teach it instead. I don't even need to listen to you. We got a couple of those too. Awesome. I love it. Well, I'll tell you guys, I'll be the first one to say I'm always learning, right? I've never get to a point where I'm like, oh, I know everything about it. I'm always trying to get better. And just being here today, who has gotten a couple tips that have radically changed your business, changed your life, got you fired up on a whole new track, just something that's got you going? Look at all those hands. Y'all give it up for all the leaders, all the people out there that are pouring their hearts out, helping people get better and better. Because here's my goal. This is my heart. I really just want to help you succeed. I really want to help you just get a little bit better. Because it's cool when you begin to change things and you start seeing it in your business, and next thing you know, it's like you're growing, and then you're going up the charts, and now your commission level goes up, and now your bank account's going up, and then your lifestyle starts changing, your family's life and your friends' life, and you see people going out making a difference in other people's life. Like, that's what it's all about. So if I can help you just get a little bit better, that's what I'm all about. So in order to do that, I want to share with you where it started for me. And where is Jason and Olga Mathis? Are they in here? There they are. Hola, Olga. So Olga and I and Jason, we the first dial session we ever had, they always give me a hard time because I was so scared to dial in front of people that I had to go into the closet. And literally, we talk about Adam, but like I was inside the broom closet dialing, like scared to death of anybody even listening to me. So if you're anything like I wasn't Sarge out here this morning that was just so bold because he had seen explosions in Iraq, and I didn't have that experience, right? So me, I was a kid with no sales experience, no crazy, training. I was just like, all right, I'm supposed to say this script on the phone, and hopefully somebody's going to book an appointment with me, right? Terrified. And thankfully, Andy Riddle, my man, there he is. Everybody say, hey, Andy Riddle. I remember him sitting there and trying not to laugh at me, but just kind of like listening to me making dials, and he was like trying to tell me stuff to say on the phone before like the client would hang up on me. Y'all ever had that happen before? Someone trying to coach you while you're doing it? And I just remember thinking, like, having people in this business that have gone ahead, that have already seen the path, right? Like Albright was talking about, I'm just the baboon up the tree telling you where the berries are and where the water is. They've been there, they've done this, they understand what it's like. I would encourage you to get around some of those people while you're doing this, right? Because some people are like, well, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I don't have a dial team. We live broadcast our dial team on Zoom every week, right? So plug in, get close. I promise you, this is a relationship business. The closer you are with people doing it, the better off you're going to be, right, Mike Marisi? That's right. So let's talk a little bit about the actual process. Who knows in here, y'all ever heard PPPPP, prior preparation? Well, let me start over. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. It's hard to say. I mean, it's easy when you're practicing in your closet at home, but when you get up on stage, it's a little different. But having the preparation laid out. Who in here has ever gone into dials with no preparation at all? Right? Just come in swinging. It works, I would say to an extent, but the reality is there are things that you can do to properly prepare. One of the things that helps me, just off the bat, is making sure you've got your leads printed out, right? Who in here has ever tried to dial off a screen, right? You don't really have the lead in front of you. You're trying to talk to somebody, and then the screen disappears, or you swipe too far up, and then you can't find it, and you're trying to take notes on something that you can't. It's crazy. Print them out, right? When I was first getting started, Riddle was making fun of me because I was like, that ink stuff is expensive, and I'm out of it. And he was like, yeah, you know what else is expensive is not booking appointments. So I went and got some ink, filled up my ink cartridge and printed my leads out and got me some paper. Making sure, like you have the stage set, right? I'm just a big believer in making sure, like, your mindset going in, your mindset is, I'm going to book this appointment, right? I'm going to help this family. That's my mindset, 100%. And I think that there's, there's skills involved to doing it, but the main mindset is just making sure, hey, I'm gonna bust these numbers out. I'm gonna hit the numbers until I hit my goal. We've been talking a lot about 40-40, right? 40 appointments a week. I'll tell you one thing, you won't have any cash flow problems if you're doing 40 appointments a week, right, Brian? Right? 40 appointments a week that will put the cash flow problems away. So get yourself prepared, get yourself in the right mindset. And it's kind of like running. Has anybody in here a runner? I know Paul Roberts is a huge runner. I know Gene is a big runner. My wife loves to run. It's like there's this thing that they call like the runner's block, or like the wall that you hit. What do you guys call it? I say you guys because it ain't. I clearly am not. But the wall, you hit a wall. How far into it is it for you typically, Gina, when you hit a wall? Yeah, that's for me. I get a couple hundred yards in. I'm like, that's a wall for me. "20 minutes. So I hear, it's so funny. I hear people say all different lengths and I think it is specific to you, right? Maybe it's your training, maybe it's your background, but there's such thing as a wall, okay? I've noticed for me, it's right around 50 dials. I don't know what it is about 50 dials, but I know mentally when I go into dialing, I have to set my schedule to where I'm going to be on the phone for at least longer than that. I would say, now I'm doing 250 dials, 300 dials at a time. But that 50 dial wall, I have to push through that pain. Just like a runner's got to push through the pain of the first 20 minutes when you're out there. If I was teaching you how to run a marathon and I said, oh, well, as soon as you feel pain, just go ahead and sit down. How long is that going to last? Not very long, right? So knowing that there is pain involved in doing the dials, like you're going to hit a mental block. There is a wall, right? I'm going to go ahead and mentally tee you up for that, because when you hit it, that's when you know that money zone, that's that sweet spot. That's when that's when the money starts to, you have a decision. You either push into that money zone or you go get a coffee break, right? You go to listen to some music, you go read a book, you go take a break, you go wash the dishes. I don't know what it is about washing dishes. I cannot stand to wash the dishes, but it looks so appealing when I am dialing the phone, right? So I tell you all this from personal experience. Like, we joke about it, but like, I know, right? I know what it's like. I'm sitting there dialing the phone myself, hitting wall 50, and all of a sudden it's something else is more important, right? Here's my encouragement to you. Get a good cushion. You can ask my wife. She's in here somewhere. I have a good cushion in my desk chair, right? Because when I want to get up, Mona, instead of standing up and going walking out and going do something crazy, I have to mentally stay seated and hit the next dial, right? I have to push through that pain. And it's funny because once you push through that wall, you really do get like a second wind. You do. You get like this burst of energy where you just like, it's like you know you're in the sweet spot making money, right? I've heard it said before, get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, because the reality is that's where the money's made. When you're out of your comfort zone, that's when you're making the money, right? When you're in your comfort zone, curled up in a ball under the covers in your bed, not a lot of money being made, right? Unless you're Paul and Tamara Roberts, which are just killing it right now. Hey, you could do that and make it. No. But that is, to me, where, you know, the rubber meets the road is just staying in the zone and making those dials and knowing that it's a numbers game. I could come up here and teach you every technique and every way to overcome the objections, and here's the reality. And I can even all the other producers out here could vouch for me on this, Jason Carey. There's nobody that can book every single person that we talk to, right? Right? He goes, well, I've had days where it goes really well, but I think the reality is it's a numbers game, right? And if you mentally just prepare yourself that you're going to put in those numbers, no matter what, come hell or high water, you're going to put in 400 dials, you're going to get the results. And I like the fact that we are in business and we don't have to operate on an employee mindset, right? Because when I was an employee, I clocked in, I got paid per hour until I clocked out, right? And the crazy thing is they set the time, they set the amount that I could get paid, and that's all there was to it. On this side of the coin, we get to decide. It's all based off results. So, like, let's say your goal, because we book 40 appointments a week, so let's say your goal is to book 20 appointments, and you want to divide it, 20 appointments between Tuesday and Wednesday and 20 appointments between Thursday and Friday. Well, you set up your schedule and you go, okay, well, I have to book, without me getting up from this seat, I have to book 10 appointments. Have y'all ever done this before? All right? And sometimes, I'm not kidding you, like, it's painful, literally. I'm like on appointment 9, like, hurry up, answer the phone, because I got to go to the restroom, right? I got to hurry up and book this last appointment. But if you set goals where you hit the goal, the reward is that much sweeter, right? Angelica and I are really big on like 90-day runs. So like we'll set a goal and we say, hey, at the end of this 90-day run, we get to go here. We get to go do this. I know Sarge and Mona they get a reward goal. He was telling me all about it. I'm super excited for y'all. So it's set something up where it can be a reward for you and your family. If you do this, you get this. Here's the other side of that coin. What are the repercussions if you don't, right? I know when we first started, Andy Riddle helped me with this. Our date night was Friday night. So that was my most important night of the week. I got fired up because we were going on date night, right? And coincidentally, I had to dial Thursday and Friday for my appointments on Saturday when I was part-time because I worked Monday through Friday. I was working like 60 hours a week. And so I would get home from work. I would do some... I think I would take like a little bit of an energy drink, do some push-ups or coffee or something like that. And I would sit down and I would dial from like 6:30 to 8:30 was typically my schedule. And if I could book up 10 appointments on Saturday, I was done. And here's what ended up happening. Andy Riddle told me this. He goes, all right, well, look, if you don't get 10 appointments on Saturday, you have to dial Friday for Saturday. And if you're not done by date night, you don't get to go on date night. And he didn't tell me this. He said, hey, this is a good idea. You might want to implement it. And I was like, yes, sir, that's a great idea. I like that one. And so how many times y'all think it happened that I didn't book my 10 appointments on Saturday? One time. And it hurt so bad because I remember looking at my wife, and she knew I could have done it faster too. I was procrastinating a little bit. But I remember having to look my wife in the eyes and tell her that we couldn't go on date night because I still had to dial the phone. And just seeing her reaction crushed me enough to make sure I was going to book my 10 appointments every single time. And I got them done Thursday night moving forward because we wanted to make sure all Friday was taken care of, right? So set yourself a little goal prior to going into it, and whatever that bar is for you. I mean, I just want to encourage you, if you're doing 10 appointments a week, can you do 15, right? If you're doing 20 appointments a week, can you try 25? It's only going to help you grow your business and grow your bank account and help more people, right? But challenge yourself. Find at the end of the day, what are you willing to put in, right? If it's that important to you, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do? Like Megan Wood was talking about, it comes down to what you're willing to do. So I like to look at, what the expectation is for where my week's set out is like, hey, if I have to hit this number, I got to put in these dials to make it happen. And the other side of that coin is you don't have to be good. I think a lot of people hear what I'm saying and they're like, yeah, but Brant, I just got started. I'm not as good as you. And here's what I would say. The more activity you can put in, whether it's dials or door knocks, right? Like Megan was talking about door knocks earlier. She's amazing at door knocks, right? Whatever the activity, it's activity that breeds the result. So if you put in more door knocks and more dials, you're going to get more results. I always think about y'all seen that image before where it's the guy that's digging the hole and he's like looking for diamonds. And it's such a cool image. I wish I had it where we could pull it up, but it's basically a picture of a guy digging through a tunnel and he's inches away from diamonds. And he's got this sledgehammer. He's inches away from hitting diamonds, and he turns around and heads back. And there's another dude coming at him with the hammer, and he's about to go hit the diamonds. And so my whole thing is like, don't give up just short of reaching the diamonds. Put in the numbers to get the results. If you're going to go through the trouble of coming here and learning the material and investing the time and the energy and the emotion and the money and the finances and the leads, put in massive action. I'm telling you, my buddy Sarge is giving me an amen over here because he knows. How much was your how much have you issued paid so far just this month? $36,000 issue paid just so far this month. And was it all rainbows and butterflies, Mona, or was there some fight involved? Was there some overcoming involved? That's just 1 month, guys. So here's what I'm saying. If you just set your schedule, set your goal, laser focus, don't let anything else interrupt it, you're going to hit those numbers. Who in here has ever heard of an oscilloscope? Y'all know what that is? Raise your hand real high. Dadgum, y'all some smart moms. I didn't even know what that was. Chris Long had to tell me what an oscilloscope was. So an oscilloscope is something that measures the intonations of your voice, right? So like when you're talking real high up here, that's real high up here. When you're talking real low down here, it's real low down here, right? So when I first started dialing the phone, I didn't know what this was, and I was reading the phone script, and I was trying to tell Andy Riddle, I'm like, dude, I'm doing the script exactly like I'm supposed to, word for word. Has anybody ever hit this problem before? Right? One tiny tip, Bell, that changed my whole business was learning the slope of your intonations. It's a cadence, right? It's almost like a rhythm when you get into the phone script and you hear someone do it right. Immediately, it just kind of puts you at ease. It almost is boring to where it makes you want to fall asleep, right? Not that I'm trying to do that for y'all just after having lunch, but I think it's coincidental that they put me up here right after lunchtime to put y'all to sleep with some phone script, but no. So what does it sound like? So it sounds like this. So if I were to call you Rory, let's just can you come up here real quick? Let's just say I were to call you I'm going to use this as an example, and I want y'all to tell me what you feel when I do this, okay? Because keep in mind, the client, they don't know me, but when I call them up and it sounds like this, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Rory, this is Brant with the Mortgage Protection Group. How are you? That's exactly what happens. So, did y'all hear the intonations went up? What did I sound like when I was doing that? A telemarketer, right? It's so funny because all the telemarketing calls we get, if they just flip their intonations, I would probably listen to more of the call. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, but the second they go up like that, they're real excited to talk to me. I get a little skeptical and I'm immediately hanging up the phone. All right, now let's flip it. Let's do the opposite with the intonation. Same words, okay? I just want y'all to just tell me if this makes any difference for you, okay? Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Rory.
Yes.
Hey, Rory, this is Brant with the Mortgage Protection Group. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Brant?
All right, so let's just stop right there. Did y'all feel the difference on that? All right. Were there any words different from the two scripts? Only difference was we just flipped the intonations, right? So I'm coaching people on phone script all the time, and I hear their intonations going up, and really all they have to do is flip that intonation. So what I would say is practice, get your intonations where they slowly start a little bit higher like this and slowly drop towards the end of the phone script. And here's the crazy thing. Rory's phone script is different than Sarge's, is different than Brian's, that's different than mine. So it's not so much a perfect script, it's more how you're saying it. Does that make sense? Y'all give it up for my buddy, Rory Bean. So you know, that's one of the tips, having little intonation differences like that. And then who in here ever gets objections? I don't get objections, right? It's funny when people ask me, do I get objections? I'm like, no, I really don't get them. But then I realize it's probably because I don't even think it's an objection. Like when people stop me or they get off, I don't take it as an objection. And naturally, I just have this this phrase that I go back to every time that really helps it kind of like overcomes every objection or every problem on the phone. So we're going to take a couple. I want to do like, basically we have 7 minutes. I want to do like some questions and objections as far as like how, like what are you guys coming across and how we can overcome it. Who in here has got an objection that they're like, I just can't overcome this one? Sarge, the guy who did $36,000 last week. Yes, sir. Okay, so his objection was, I was just looking for a quote. Who's gotten this before? I love this one. I love this. Well, and here, listen real quick. What is he not saying, Jake? He's not saying no. He's not saying he doesn't want it. He's saying, I was just looking for a quote. So what do I say back? Perfect. All my job is just to make sure we get that out to you, and that way we don't have to keep bugging with you. I just wasn't sure, what time are you normally getting home from work? So real quick, couple things happen there, but the biggest overcomer of any objection is to kind of acknowledge it, smooth over it, and come back to what time they get home from work. If you can find out what time they get home from work, you really don't need anything else. That's pretty much all I need to find out is what time he gets home from work. Because if he doesn't book with me, I just write home at 6 on the lead. And guess who's going to be Megan Wood door knocking a couple days later with the form that they filled out with their signature on it, right? So I love that objection. And if you take that little phrase, no big deal, it's just my job to make sure we get the information out to you. What time are you normally getting home from work? You know what? I don't have a 7, Robert. I'm going to call you Robert because that's what it says here on the lead. I don't have a 7, Robert, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put you in around 7:15. Can you do me a favor and jot down this confirmation number? Just let me know if you got a pen. All right, pause. So I want to take this real bite-sized step, but really, an objection. I came back with, hey, no big deal. It's just my job to get this out to you. What time are you normally getting home from work? He tells me a time. Who, right then and there, every time you hear somebody say a time, every single time you know how to book that appointment. Who in here knows how to do it every time? This phrase changed my life because I could get the time, but I couldn't always get the appointment. Here's what I say. Say it one more time. What time you normally get home from work? 7. I don't have a 7, but I'll tell you what I'll do. So what we do is we take it away from them, because what do people naturally want when you take it away from them? Hold on. Whoa. You don't have a 7, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put you in around 7:15. Can you do me a favor and just jot down this confirmation number? Just let me know if you got a pen. You know when you say it right, you know what you're going to hear? You're going to hear drawers opening and closing. You're going to hear pens clicking. You're going to, your paper's going to be rustling. It's crazy how much of a difference it makes when you take that away from them. You know what? I don't have a 7, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put you in around 7:15. Can you do me a favor and jot down this confirmation number? What other objections you guys get? Already got it. Perfect. That makes my job so much easier. All I got to do is make sure we get these updates to you, and I just wasn't sure. What time are you normally getting home from work? What time? I don't have a 10, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put you in around 10:15. Can you just do me a favor and jot down this confirmation number? Just let me know if you got a pen. Absolutely, I can. And you're at the 123 Main Street? All right, and my name is Brant. Can you do me a favor and jot down this confirmation number? All right, just let me know if you got a pen. So here, that's a great example. What's your name? Betty? That's my grandmother's name. I can remember that. Betty. What is it? That's true. I don't know many young Bettys. You're right. But you're the youngest Betty I've ever met. So I would say to you, Miss Betty, here's what I would say. If you want me to leave it on your door, I can. But once I get there, if I can show you what I have, we have to go through a couple questions with you just to see if the options will help you qualify. And I'll be quick. What time are you normally getting home? 5:30. I don't have a 5:30, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put you in around 6. Can you just do me a favor and jot down this number they make me give you? Just let me know if you got a pen. All right. So, and that would be totally good. Here's the thing. If she doesn't book, that's okay, right? Some will, some won't. So what? Somebody's waiting. That's what we got leads for. And you got a big, healthy stack of leads. You can go on to the next one, right? But I'm going to try everything I can with Miss Betty to book the appointment, because in my heart, I know if she filled it out, there's a reason, right? My job is to make sure we get her the information. I can't sell it over the phone, but I can at least make sure she's going to be there. And I'll say something like that. I'll say, hey, listen, once I get there, if I show you what we have, I do have some questions, make sure we can qualify if that's okay with you. But what time are you normally getting home from work? Have y'all ever played the question game before? So Andy was in West Palm a couple weeks ago, and we were playing the question game. And it's crazy how if you ask somebody a question, they can't think about the last thing they said, because now a question has been posed and they have to answer it, right? The wild thing in the question game, when you're playing the game, you know the rules. But on the phone script, they don't know we're playing the question game. So anytime someone throws something crazy out that I don't necessarily know how to overcome, I'm just going to ask another question. And the easiest question I always ask is, hey, it's just my job to get this out to you. I just wasn't sure what time you're normally getting home from work. It's crazy how it works, but people throw you time, and then you can use that little phrase to book the next follow-up appointment time. What other objections? We got one last, this is one last question, and then I got to wrap it up. Yes, you right there in the back. You're not interested. Neither am I. This stuff is so boring. Matter of fact, if you got something better to do, I'd rather be doing that. But my boss says I got to make sure I get it out to you. And since you're not interested, I'll be super quick. But what time are you normally getting home from work? Hey, y'all. That's all my time. Real quick, hey, can we give it up for all the leadership and all the people putting on this awesome conference? We're so grateful for you guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, Billy.